Bienvenidos a la Zona Podcast, el espacio donde el conocimiento, el deporte y la tecnología se fusionan para inspirarte. Voces expertas, historias cautivadoras y análisis profundo te esperan en cada episodio. Prepárate para sumergirte en la zona. Un mundo de aprendizaje y motivación constante.
And welcome to the Zona Podcast. It's an honor to have another podcast with you guys. And well, this is the first podcast that we're doing in person, so we're testing things out. So be kind with us. And well, today we have Miguel Angel Grande. Miguel, can I call you Miguel or Miguel Angel?
Call me Miguel.
Miguel, it's an honor for us to have you in the Zona Podcast. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about Miguel. He's someone that's going to teach you so much about soccer, about the tactics in soccer, about how to understand the sport from a player point of view, but also from a soccer coach point of view. And his content is amazing. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into where you can find him, where you can hear him, and just get so much knowledge from a person that has had a lot of experience in it. So Miguel, let's first start with that. I know this is the first time for both of us doing something like this. So let's kick it off. Let's do something amazing. And tell us a little bit more about who is Miguel Angel Grande.
Man, that introduction was great. I don't know what I can say anymore. No, but I'm originally from Maryland. Grew up with immigrant parents, one from Peru, my mom from Peru, my dad from El Salvador. I've been around the ball my whole life. And when I first moved here to Miami, it was, a shock of just how the culture was different from up north. And then most importantly, the way soccer is played down. Right, it was completely different than what I was used to and accustomed to up north. But that's ultimately what led me to start Grande Sports Training. I wanted to train players because at the same time I didn't like doing the other delivery gigs that I was doing. I wanted to do something with what I love, and that's how it started, just training players. And now Grande Sports has grown to what it is now. And I'm just really excited to give back to the next generation and keep growing. Well, great people like you.
I'm going to have you hold the mic so we don't have to be passing it on and on. Well, let's get into Grande Sports Training, because I know that's something that we love here as entrepreneurs, and it's building companies, building startups. So tell us a little bit more about Grande Sports Training. I know that you've created a community of almost 2,000 people, and that's amazing. So tell us how it started, when you began, all that story, because that's amazing for us.
So Grande Sports Training unofficially started in 2016. I just started training clients in person. Then in 2018, 2019, I made the decision to actually register it as an official business, LLC, here in South Florida. And then when COVID hit, I started to figure out ways to take my knowledge and teach people online. So now Grande Sports Training has grown into a business where I educate players both in person and online. So I figured out a way to reach those players online, to reach the masses, just because I can't train 1,000 people at one time.
Wow.
But online we can do it. So online I teach a lot of players the tactical side of the game, as well as showing them different things that they can do to improve in all 4 pillars of the game. And that we're going to touch more on that, but just to summarize, the mental, physical, technical, and tactical side of the game. And then in person, I'm able to just really work on all those four pillars, like very in detail.
Wow, Miguel, well, tell us a little bit more, because I know like all this knowledge has to come from somewhere, and it doesn't only come from soccer, but it comes from you wanting to learn more about it. You wanted to appreciate the sport more, and also getting to know people in this market. So where does this knowledge coming from? Where is it coming from? How did you get to where you're at right now to know so much? Because like you're mentioning, I got to your content thanks to the algorithm that knows that I love soccer, but at the same time it was for me. Like I'm a soccer player, I'm a soccer coach. So all your content, which we'll tell you guys where you can find them, but it's tailored for soccer players. So all that information you're giving to them, it's amazing. So where did that come from? Which books did you read? Tell us everything.
So it's actually crazy. My love for the game started watching the Euros. Euro 2004. First time I saw Cristiano Ronaldo play. 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo just going crazy. And then growing up as a kid, I wanted to be him. And then I started realizing how he was. His mentality, just trying to be the best in every possible way. So I feel like I kind of wanted to imitate everything he did. So I remember specifically when I was around 14, 15 years old, I realized that when I was playing against higher competitive teams, I felt like I didn't have enough time on the ball. But the guy on the other team always had time on the ball. And I always asked myself that question, like, why do they always have so much time on the ball? So back then, social media didn't exist. It was all Google. Google just trying to research those answers, watching games on TV. Fortunately enough, I had some great coaches growing up, so they would teach me these little things. And as I got older, I started realizing that, okay, there's so many different things that we need to hit as footballers for it to all come together. And then now that I've been working on with a lot of players take in information differently. So the most simplest way that I could summarize it is I tell players that the game is played in moments. And depending on what position you play, you have to just remember these 3 specific moments, and you have to perform consistently these 3 specific moments. Of course, there's millions of game situations, but when you kind of generalize the situation, you're going to have an answer for everything that comes your way. So I kind of took all my research, put it all together, and then just summarize it so that the player can understand it in a simple way.
Wow. Well, I was going to get into what is it that makes you different from other content creators, but I think you've just explained that very well. And I think that that's what, for me, that's what actually highlights what you do. So before we move on, because I don't want to take too much of your time, and I don't want to take too much of your time either, tell us a little bit more of where we can find you, and then we'll move on to a little bit more about your content. Where can we find you now?
So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Grande Sports Training. And then I also have another page called Footy Tactics. That's my YouTube channel where I give content in longer form. Mm-hmm. So I dive deeper into the details of each position and, what you should be doing in each phase of play. Right, so we have the defensive phase, the attacking phase, the transition to attack, transition to defense, and then the set piece phase. So every single phase, a player needs to understand what they should be doing. So I cover all that in the YouTube channel, and that is where you can find me.
Wow, well, there you go. And you guys should go right now after watching this video, after watching it to the end, go and find Miguel Ángel Grande with all his ads, because, like I said, his content is amazing. You guys are going to learn so much, take notes, and then use it at the field, which is what we most like. So now, Miguel, I want to cut short to one thing that's coming up for you guys, and which is the Joner and Grande training. Is it a summer camp? What's that going to be like? If you could tell us a little bit of it. Obviously, I know it's exclusive information, but tell us about it.
Yeah, so actually Joner is the one that motivated me to start a soccer page. But, recording all the training here in Miami, I followed him when he had maybe 1,000 followers.
Wow.
And just, it's coming full circle now, just getting to work with somebody that I looked up to. And yeah, we're having a soccer training camp, Elite 3-day camp, July 9th to July 11th at Mills Concord. We're going to be doing trainings from 9 a.m. to 12 for the camp. And then we're also going to be opening up some private training and semi-private training from 4 to 7 p.m. in Miami for those 3 days. So, definitely come out. It's going to be incredible.
Well, there you go.
Great energy.
If you are in South Florida, you already know what you have to do. Enjoy it. Hopefully you guys could go. And well, Miguel, I want us to finish up with something that we love here, which is obviously what our brand stands for, which is La Zona. La Zona for us. And for all those viewers who don't know what La Zona is, it's the zone, being in the zone. And that's an aspect that we think covers so much about the sport that we play. And every sport and absolutely every discipline that anybody could do, even at work, surgeons, anywhere, you could see that people get in this space where everything just flows, right? It's called also flow state. It's called the psychology of happiness. It has so many names. It's called being in the zone or just that flow state. So I want to get into what's the flow state to you. What's being in the zone for you? And what I mean is being in the zone for me, and I'll tell you that example is having this conversation right now. I'm not thinking about anything else. I know there's a game in the background, but I'm thinking about what it is that I can say to you. So all these thoughts, I'm listening to what you're saying, and that's for me being in the zone. Because I'm a journalist, because I'm a soccer player. So all these things are going through my head. But for you, when are you in the zone? If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think being in the zone is just being present in every aspect. And if we make it specific to soccer, just understanding that one action is not connected to the other. It's just about what's happening now. So I think once you're in the zone, you have the confidence to just perform consistently right now, not later, not the mistakes you did yesterday or 10 minutes ago. That doesn't matter anymore. It's about doing what you need to do right now. So that's what it is for me being in the zone.
Wow. Well, it's incredible to see how many different answers we get from this simple question. We ask the same question to all our guests here, and every guest has a different answer. And well, guys, it's enough. I think it's enough. Miguel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Anything else you want to say to your viewers, to our viewers? Any advice that you want to give from un grande like you?
I would just say, follow your dreams, keep doing what you're doing. I think one of the best things that you can do is just get up every day and do what you love. Right? The simple thing is, if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life, right? that's the motto of the book. Everything.
Love that, both. Thank you for being in the zone.
Thank you.
Nos vemos en el próximo episodio, donde seguiremos inspirándote a alcanzar nuevas profundidades. La Zona Podcast.